So today is 17 September. We are back in our beautiful Holland. Yesterday still in tropical Brazil. Today in kind of rainy Holland. And I'm happy my camera is this watertight up to 10 meter steps. So why do I do this walk in the morning, for example, now in the rain? And it's one of the methods, or it's the method, which I think is the key to health and for happiness and for really for the ability to transform and to change. That's reset. We all know that when the computer stops working, what do? Usually we don't have to change the battery, we don't have to do any kind of surgery. We just have to press the button to restart, and exactly this is what I know is the #1 cure for most diseases. But there is no button, so how to reset, and what is a reset? A reset happens when we are put back into a state where we don't know, where everything is kind of unknown, where, like when you reset a computer, all data that it accumulated maybe for days without reset is put back to zero. So I had a talk yesterday with Deborah, and we talked about the meaning of or the purpose of disease, and she said, well, every disease is really a learning experience. And I said, yes, that's probably true in some of the cases, but in the more severe cases of disease where you're confronted with a fatal or maybe possible long disability, it's about a reset. Really, you are put back to zero. All what you did until now might be questionable, might have had no, you think, purpose. All the friends you made a connection with might not be there anymore for you in a few months, when you have to go to a hospital, or when you even die, or all the money you accumulated. It's kind of purposeless when you know you have only another 3 months to live. So this is really a reset, which is very obvious. But the smaller diseases, when we have a cold, what do? We possibly get some antibiotics to not feel it. Or we even, in America, we even go before the flu season, we get a shot not to feel it, not to have it. So it's avoiding even the small reset where you are put maybe in bed for a few days, or where you cannot go to the movies the way you expected you can. So it's the least little reset that we have to acknowledge. And it's not really about learning. Sometimes, yes, it is, but learning is adding something. But reset is reducing you to the possibly absolute zero. So there's of course different degrees. There's a reset, there's a restart, and there's even a reinstallation. Yes, that's what I had 4 years ago. So there's different degrees, but it's not really most of the time about adding something, learning something. It's about reducing, getting more simple, more back to the basics. And if you want to avoid the big reset, which I can say is not easy, then you do this a little bit every day if you can. Like, for example, you go out on a day like this where it's raining and maybe not so warm, and you look at the sky and you think, how strange I'm out here. How strange. And I will start a series now about reset methods that you can do, or that you can suggest to your patients. And in a way, we always had this as in the medical tradition, but we didn't see it as that. When you come to a doctor, he's maybe telling you no more sweets. And sweets was all you liked, everything. That was the most important thing in your life. So no more sweets, that's a reset, and you have to readjust everything. It's not that he tells you, well, you can eat now more smoked ham, you can have more fried potatoes, and he's adding to your life. No, he's reducing. So in a way, it's tiny, tiny reset that he's providing you, and they are effective. But it's very limited, and it's also the understanding that comes with it is incorrect. It's not that this really heals you, or that these foods are unhealthy. There's some people, they go to McDonald's every day and they're still alive and they're in their 70s. So it's not that this is really unhealthy, but that not allowing, at least for a certain time, certain habits anymore, is a reset that brings you back to the basics. And this is something I want, and I will teach more and more in my seminars next weekend here in Holland. And then there will be maybe more blue sky in your life, even, and maybe because it's raining sometimes. Because this is the purpose of disease, to teach something new, which is to be more simple, more back to the source.